Facebook, YouTube, or MTV television. I'm your host, Byron Campbell. Of course, our co-host is Chris Dialli. Good evening, Chris.
Good evening, Byron. Good evening to our listeners and viewers, and we welcome you again to another episode of Community Forum.
Chris, we have a very short version of Point of View because we have a very interesting guest joining us. You want to say quickly what the guest is?
Yes, we have Mr. Kent Joseph, or should I say Sir Kent Joseph, because I know recently he was awarded a knighthood. So he's going to be our guest this evening to give us his story over his many years' contribution in Grenada in many fields.
What kind of fields, Chris?
Well, we have business. He's a business entrepreneur. He was a political activist. He was a sports personality. And on top of that, he was a person who engaged in a lot of philanthropy with various organizations.
So that should be interesting, Chris. We look forward to Sir Joseph joining us. Yeah. Chris, a few things. One, let me start off with this. There is ongoing now, let's call it an economic warfare. The U.S. has an economic warfare, launched an economic warfare on Cuba. And of course, this goes back more than 6 decades, more than 60 years. But now it's been intensified with an oil energy embargo on Cuba. It's affecting the tourism, the cash, hospitals, quality of life. Everything has been affected, the quality of life so there's a lot of suffering this embargo is causing. Imagine there's no energy, you can't go anywhere, people can't, as a patient, you can't get to the hospital, certain foods, imports. So it's a major matter affecting Cuba. And one of the things is that Cuba has been there for so many of us, and when I say us, I mean countries of the world.
America, Latin America,
Africa. When there's a hurricane, I mean, you saw Cuban with equipment, little what they have, workers. They've built our airport, they've trained our doctors, our engineers, all type. I mean, you look at our hospitals in the region and everywhere. When there were liberation in South Africa, apartheid or Angola issues, it was Cubans who gave their lives. So not just building hospitals, teachers around the Caribbean, around the world. So here we have a situation. So I'm saying all of this to say, given this, what is happening there, by the way, is contrary to, it's illegal. I mean, it's breaking all international norms and laws. What is the response? That's the critical thing. What are we hearing? Where are our leaders? Where's CARICOM, for example? Where's everybody to show their support? Not just solidarity that we do at the UN annually when we vote by the vast majority against the United States embargo, but now it's real. So what's tangible? What's coming?
Well, before I comment on that, I want to just say to the viewers and the public that Mr. Campbell and I made a decision that on every show going forward from now on, we're going to spend 10 seconds on a domestic violence and sexual violence issues.
More than 10 seconds.
Yeah, that is going on. So you're going to be hearing that, and we're speaking primarily to our males and the society, because it's a societal problem as we see it. And everybody have to be talking about this every time, everywhere, in all aspects and facets of Grenada, in every nook and cranny. So, and that is my little comment on it to start. The Cuba issue is sad. And here again, we see the U.S. with their bullying tactics. And the U.S. is weaponizing everything that they do for countries like ourselves and Latin America. If you were to trade and they found out that you did any trade with Cuba, they put an embargo on you and you can't enter the country. And there's a lot of that weaponizing. They're now weaponizing correspondent banking relationships. That's how they're doing with Canada.
Yes.
And so on. So you find that we're seeing things here that is happening from the U.S. And I think it is a fair situation where CARICOM is concerned that if they were to respond and support Cuba, they would put on these indirect, non-direct tariffs on us and weaponize what they do with us. So you're seeing, and then when you think about it hard, yes, we may have a position, yes, we may state what our position is, Barbarians have done so quite clearly, but I think there is a fear as to what happened with St. Kitts Prime Minister and what he did when they threatened the refugee thing and so on, and his response with his MOU. So I believe the leaders in our region being very careful and cautious in our response to it. But to me, that betrays the support that Cuba have given to all of us for many years. And I think we should take a position of not supporting the embargo as it is, but finding a way around it that we could give Cubans support.
Humanitarian aid.
Yes, right.
This is
Right.
required because, the CARICOM meeting is coming up on Tuesday next week, and I'm anxious to know whether that would be on the agenda, how it would be discussed, the question of security. But related to this, Chris, we have, of course, the U.S. has come forward again with a statement today from Bridgetown threatening action, visa sanctions against countries and individuals that support the Cuban health brigades or the Cuban personnel in this program, you know. So it's interesting to see what's happening. But related to that, of course, we have reports of a lethal strike on a vessel in between St. Vincent and St. Lucia, St. Vincent territorial. The Prime Minister of St. Lucia admitted to this. He did announce the death of 2 individuals.
And the U.S. admitted that they had a drone strike.
And the fishermen in those islands, both St. Vincent and more, St. Lucia, are mobilized. They are fearful to go out to sea to fish. So this question of our tranquility and our blue waters, this has been threatened. And again, I'm not hearing from our leaders on this. This is dangerous.
You know, the U.S. is, I call it, you know, judicial murder.
Yeah.
Because they're not bringing anybody and bringing any evidence that this is narco trading.
Yeah.
And they're just blowing and killing them at their own will, and nobody knows what's happening after that.
So it's home now with us. This is in our territory.
Our fishermen are not prepared to go outside and face this issue.
No. And no one is saying anything. I mean, like, it's okay. This is criminal, it's wrong, and we must say that.
Sometimes when we talk these things, nothing happens, but we talk it, and the only thing that might happen is that we may get more sanctions against us.
Chris, and of course, you know, I mean, you introduced it a minute ago, but the gender-based violence issue, it is, well, disturbing. It is alarming. It continues. We had this incident, sad murder, a femicide. Another woman murdered. The vulnerability of all women, you know, Chris. What we're learning is that this young woman may have been, or this happens in our society, where you have young girls going to school. Due to poverty and other factors, they depend on elder men to support them. These men feel that they have some ownership or they have some rights, and when these women exercise their independence, they are brutalized. And it would appear that this is what may have happened in this particular situation. So one of the issues, how do we provide more independence to our young women? But the critical point you raise is that this is a conversation for everybody, our young men, our boys. How do we engage everybody in this conversation? Because this affects everybody.
We have to remember, traditionally and historically, our men were given permission by our grandmothers and our mothers that you have to go there and be the aggressor. That is how we were brought up. You wouldn't hear a woman coming and invite a man to go out. It would be the other way around. So we were always, as men, taught that this is the way. But now it has gone to the extreme, and we're not sure if there's a psychological issue affecting our men when they're threatened by the independence of their women or their significant others, and their response is violence. So I think there's a lot of conversations we have to have with our males in particular to let them know that this ego thing that they carry in and they figure they own people and that they need to be in control and power is a myth. And they don't need to do that. And we need to keep talking about it. I keep saying, Byron, we will talk about it every week. But we have to get the communities in the community centers to put that on the agenda, just as we said they must put people's responsibility for the health on the agenda. And don't stop talking about these things in our churches. Everywhere we go, we must have this conversation because it is our society and our problem.
So it's not when there's an incident like that it comes out. We must do it. Must be constant. It must be all the time. And there's a group that tomorrow they are asking persons to wear black in solidarity. They want to highlight the this issue. You know, they want to bring it to the fore. They want to keep it to the fore. You know, all the
And I think
time.
you should keep it to the
Keep
fore.
it to the fore.
Yeah.
I want to join that. You know, and to say that.
Well, I'll wear black. I know if I'll join, but I'll wear black.
And that's part of it tonight, to show this, you know, because we have daughters, we have wives, we have women are part of our society, part of our lives, part of our family, part of our homes.
You can't progress without
You
our
know?
women alongside us.
So we have to get there. We have to improve the situation.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not something we can eliminate
I think
altogether.
as a
but-
country, when
yeah.
we make promises and pledges, this must be one to reduce this particular scourge we have on
yeah.
our population.
Yeah.
That's a significant percentage, whether it's in 1 year or 3 years.
And let's keep the politics out of it too. This is a country matter.
I say society.
No, not you. I'm saying that we should keep the politics out of it.
We have to. It's not about us.
And let's focus on the women, the victims in particular, the prevention, the support that the
and
victims
these
need.
victims have families.
Yeah.
Families also need
Yeah.
support. So anyway,
Chris,
we're going to be
viewers,
professional.
yeah, that's all the time we have tonight. Stay with us. We'll be right back with our guests. Papa Joe, you're occupying where Chris was.
Holy natural spring water is a water for every occasion. On the field of sports, at your workplace, just open the bottle and savor the pure, refreshing taste. Holy natural spring water is produced in Mama Can St. Andrews and is available in all sizes nationwide. To order, telephone 444-7654 or 533-7654. Holy natural spring water, Grenada's purest bottled water.
My name is Liselle Walcott. I am a staff nurse at the General Hospital for the past 16 years. At the Infection Control Department, we do surveillance for communicable diseases or hospital-acquired infections. We do outbreak investigations. So any issues we have, we would investigate it, find out the cause, and we would do recommendations and interventions to all relevant departments. Thus far, with Mount Sinai, we are looking at ways of improving hand hygiene. Hand hygiene has been proven to be one of the most important practices you could do to break the chain of infection. Working along with Mount Sinai, I foresee that it will be a very good thing for us. They are looking into the products that we use, the practices that we do. Going forward, we'll be able to achieve a very high level of compliance and safety across the board for everyone.
Grenada, the countdown is on for the most exciting relay showdown in the nation. The IMA National Relay Meet, carded for Saturday, February 21st, 2026, 3 p.m. at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Come witness speed, relentless competition, and heart-pounding relays that will keep you at the edge of your seats from start to finish. The island's fastest teams will battle for glory, but who will rise to the top and claim the prizes? You have to be there to see live. Admission finish line $50, main stand $30, secondary stand $20, and bleachers $15. Children 12 and under pay $15 for main and secondary stands and bleachers. Get your tickets. Feel the speed. The IMA National Relay Meet 2026, the ultimate relay experience.
The amendment to the existing Drug Abuse Prevention and Control Act shall allow for the decriminalization of cannabis in Grenada. It permits the possession of up to 56 grams of cannabis and 15 grams of resin for individuals aged 21 and older.
The amendment allows for the growth of up to 4 cannabis plants per household for medicinal, therapeutic, or horticultural purposes. The amendment provides a legal framework for the Rastafari use and cultivation of cannabis as a sacrament in registered places of worship and at exempt events.
Amendments to the Drug Abuse Act also mandates the expungement of past criminal records and the immediate discontinuance of pending court cases for minor cannabis offences.
The amendment replaces criminal charges for those aged 18 to 20 with mandatory rehabilitation and counseling, ensuring no criminal record is created for young adults. Amendments to the Drug Abuse Act centers on the decriminalization of cannabis and not full legalization.
For more information, kindly contact the Cannabis Secretariat at cannabiscommission@gov.gd. The Cannabis Secretariat, guiding responsible cannabis use and awareness.
Welcome back, viewers, and as indicated a little earlier, tonight joining us in studio is Mr. Kent Joseph, who, as I mentioned earlier, was one of Grenada's most influential and consequential figures in business, politics, sports, and community life. He is widely known as the operator of Grenada's only cinema currently, and a major investor in politics, a behind-the-scenes kingmaker, as we may see, to the new National Democratic Congress Party, and a supporter of sports culture and national development. Born in Trinidad, but deeply rooted in Grenada and has lived in Grenada for many years. He has helped shape political leadership, funded campaigns, influenced policy direction, and most recently received a knighthood for his contributions to our country. Tonight we go beyond the public image. We ask about his money, his issue in power, about power in politics, legacy, geopolitics, and a number of other areas. Ken, welcome.
Thank you very much, Chris. And good night, Byron. Good night, MTV listeners and viewers. It is with a heavy heart that I'm here tonight. And wearing black, as you indicated, there's a reason that I'm black. More so because the young lady that you were speaking about previously, she is a member of the staff of one of my tenants.
Yeah.
And my staff at Excel Plaza knew her very well. Very, very beautiful young lady, and most of the staff on the compound there are female. So all the staff at Excel Plaza in the morning, and I've spoken to her manager early on yesterday, and it's a heavy heart that I am here. And
We have to address this thing as a society, and as you heard, we said we want to be talking about it every night. Every week we have our program. But Ken, I want to get into your life as a business person. You have contributed significantly to the economics of this country in your various businesses. You've been in baking. I think you're still in baking.
yes.
Right, with our famous homemade place and Tanti. All of us as young boys going to school must patronize homemade because of the quality of the stuff. Then you have been in Excel Plaza, you're in the cigarette factory business on the Carnage, and others. Tell us what has driven you coming from Trinidad, moving to Grenada, settling in Grenada, and decided to go into these various business adventures.
Well,
I call them adventures, not ventures.
adventures.
At the time.
Yeah, high risk. I risk adventures.
Yes.
When I came from Trinidad, I was very young. I came up here at 15, going on 16. And the intention was that I would have been sent away to continue my schooling in either Barbados or in England. And I ended up having to start work at General Traders Limited. That's where Renton Thompson currently is. And that I belonged, my father then, George Joseph, had owned, that's one of the businesses he had owned. But let's put it this way, I was just a biological child, son. And the intention, I said, was to further my studies based on the death of my great aunt who looked after me in Trinidad. And I would have been on my own. She died when I was 12 years old, and I continued my own schooling. And I was basically on my own, attending school in Trinidad, in basically a ghetto area. I was born in a ghetto area, Nelson Street. And my mother here did not realize that, not until 3 years after. So I actually had the discipline. I could have gone either way. I could have been a criminal or died, that I continued my schooling, secondary schooling, at the Southeast Secondary School in Nelson Street, and prior to that I attended Nelson Street Boys RC School. So my mother came and fetched me. As I indicated, when I came, I began as a normal worker, general trader, but before that I spent about 3 or 4 months in Gill's shoe store, Paul Joseph, who was a relative of mine. He had a shoe store, and I spent some time there. I also live in Belmont, at his house. So I spent about a year. As a matter of fact, at 16, I used to run over to a place called Dining Club, and there's where I met Eric Machiavelli for the first time. But that's a different subject. But worked in general traders. I was getting $60 a month. I decided that anything I've been involved in, I go at it very seriously.
So which was the first business venture you went into?
First business venture as a business person, Market Youth Store. The first business venture personally was Market Youth Store. That was owned by others right across Market Square. My wife, I was working in Huggins then. I'd moved to Huggins. I was on the board of management at that time, at age 25. And my wife used to work in everybody's stores. And then what happened in '72 with the Mongoose gang and Gary and so on, she lost her work. So I decided to invest in this small store. It was owned by then Franklin St. Paul, and she was there. So that was the first venture, and my wife started it. While I worked myself as a clerk, as a manager, right through Huggins, and became, at age 25, I was on the board of management, youngest ever between the T. Geddes Grand Group, who then owned Huggins, and Huggins in Trinidad and Tobago.
And tell us a little about Homemade, because Homemade has been a name for us in Grenada, all boys going to high school. And
it fed a lot of children, a lot of doctors, and a lot of
other people besides children?
Well, Homemade was a family-owned business owned by a cousin of mine, Solomon Azar.
Yes, the Azars was
the Azars were there, they're related to me, and Solomon and I were very close. And I was like a son to him, actually. And he died, and I helped the family. The girls were all girls. I became the manager of the bakery then, while also still working in Huggins. And what transpired is that eventually I bought it out. It was too much for them. The second eldest girl used to be a hairdresser too. It was too much. Certain things happened that was not. It was not a good situation for the women. And I was the only man around just before this. Yeah. So I became in 1990. I think we owned Homemade Bakery. My wife could have baked, she could have cooked, and she became the manager of Homemade Bakery, and then Chef Castle at the same time. Yeah,
so tell us about your take on the Grenada's business climate, how it has changed from those early days to where we are now, and how you believe the various governments over the years have helped guide our economic advancement. Because we can't say we have not advanced. We have advanced, probably not at the rate that some people would like to see it. But what is your take as a businessman now here, not involving the politics just as yet, but as a business and the business community, and how through the chamber and the various other bodies we have been able to successfully, in my view, move the economy along?
Just before we go into that, I just want to indicate that, yes, I've been awarded a knighthood. I've had several awards before that, which I refused. Even up to last year, there were 3 awards that came out of the Northeast St. George's by the community, and that was for businessman for the Northeast, recognized after 50 years. Yeah. Nationally, 50 years. And then from the Olympic body, I was given an award for 50 years. All of which, the 3, I did not go to physically accept that because I was not well, and my sisters accepted 2 awards, and the one for the Olympic, Ray Roberts accepted it. So it's not, it's in different fields.
Yeah.
But I'm accepting this award for the people who have worked for me, for my family, because I'm reluctant to take accolades, because it has been offered to me before and I refuse. But this one is a national award. Just to clarify that and come back to the question you asked.
I have a follow-up question on that,
Yes,
on the award
yes.
question, but I'll let Chris proceed.
Yes.
I'll come back.
Yes. So before we go into the business per se, for young people, if they put, and I'm looking at where has the young men gone, because it needs hard work. Nothing was handed to me on a platter by my father. As I said, I started to work for $60 a month. Before I go to a question about Chamber of Commerce, which I was a member of and you're a member of and so on. But, you know, so for the young men, because that is critical, you know, they see a businessman and he has property, but you must understand, and we as a different generation should instill and educate business entrepreneurship.
Young men and women.
Young men and women.
Yes, yes.
And I think we have failed in that area for many reasons. I mean, distracted. And I think that's one of the reasons why most of the young men have low self-esteem and they do not understand. So we cannot blame too much that is the chamber or government. I think some of us in society who have been able to earn, to learn, should instill that this doesn't happen overnight. It's a lot of dedication, it's a lot of work, burning the midnight oil. But you have to have a serious and disciplined attitude towards it, because anything that I have was borrowed money. Nobody handed me anything. It's going to the bank. It's taken, for instance, I only had vacation twice in my life, over 50 years of work. I took twice. I went to cruise on both, but I kept monies from working in Huggins, no holiday, and putting the shoulders to the wheel. So that is my take for the people, the young people, that you can do it, but you have to work hard. And then with the ladies now, the young women, they are more mature, and they mature faster than the young men. So you have now, the young ladies now have to get more self-sufficient, because where have the young men gone? And that is also part of the problem, that the ladies have to earn, and unfortunately, a lot of them are doing much better for them educationally. And they're taking charge of businesses, and the young men are being left behind. So it's kind of...
Some people would say, we as leaders, and I'm including myself, Byron, and you, based on where we are, have failed our young men, because we have not mentored and given them the kind of mentorship that they need to understand. We have a lot more single mothers, and as a result, some of them come out of homes without a father figure. And we as leaders in society, in various fields, business and other fields, have not spent enough time mentoring. What is your opinion of our men?
Totally agree. Not just from a political standpoint, when we're in place, from a business standpoint, from the church, and it comes back to the actually subject that we started on, because this is a critical societal problem, and it stems for lack of leadership, male roles, and lack of young ladies. For instance, I think that educational system should be geared, teachers should be paid more, and in the schools, these teachers should be able to teach young women how they must conduct themselves. So it should start with the school system, not then leave it there. And teachers, education and health, as far as I'm concerned, is the most important aspect of a society, right? The Chamber of Commerce, I have been a member of the Chamber of Commerce, and I've been at the head of the VAT body. We used to have, many years ago, we had, when VAT was introduced, I headed the VAT committee under the Manufacturers Association. So in those days, Chamber played a heavy role in shaping the business climate. Apart from that, when the revolution ended, the demise, I, as representing Huggins and the Board of Management of the Chamber, at that time Richard Menes, the president. And I represented Huggins Seavers, because you have to have two persons from the company. I became the head of the entrepreneurs. It was the junior achievement. So I headed the first junior achievement program, of which all the schools are still operating, not as as we started before, but to teach young people how to manufacture, how to be creative, and some time ago I got an award for it. I remember what's his name was part of it too. Unfortunately, De Berg, but he was there at the chamber then, and people like Pointis and Archibald and Hugh Dallan. So the chamber in its earlier days, they had a cadre of very prominent young men and serious men, because I'm speaking about being on the chamber board at 28 and 30 years old. I mean, we were pretty young, but we were serious, different generation. But have we passed on that to the entrepreneurs? They know we have failed. And I think with regards to what's happening now, we are with this situation where phones and technology, it makes it more difficult for us to interact as older people, because the children has now gone on their own, and that is also a big challenge for parents. But you could ask a question.
Okay. Papa Joe, I'll call you Papa Joe.
Yes, please.
Or Sir Joe.
No.
Papa Joe.
Don't go there.
We're gonna come back to Excel Plaza, because that's a major investment and business that you had, and now you're celebrating 25 years. But we're gonna come back to the business. We want to shift the conversation a little bit. We want to go to the politics and the money and the power aspect of it. So we are aware that you have been active politically, an activist. Political activists, and very supportive of a number of parties. But the major one you've been involved with, of course, has been the new NDC.
The new NDC?
The
NDC.
The NDC.
NDC, not no new NDC.
The NDC. There's no new ones, right? Yeah. I want to ask you, you have invested as a business person money into politics over decades in Grenada in campaign financing, which, by the way, is largely unregulated. There's no regulations on campaign financing. Do you believe individuals like you, businessmen, wealthy individuals like you, if I can call you this, like yourself, have disproportionate power over democracy? Does that give you influence that others don't have?
Not in the case of myself, because my intention was not to fund or assist transaction. It started as a young man, as an activist in Trinidad and Tobago, supporting the Black Power movement. Never looked at the politics that way. I got involved in politics by default. I got involved in politics after I placed myself at the fort, supporting Maurice Bishop, and then after that, on the receiving end of the bullet, glad to be alive, I was asked to be a member of the NBPM. So in 1983, I was a member of the NBPM, Maurice Bishop Patriotic Movement, which was formed in December 1983. Kenneth Craddock was then the leader. George Louison was deputy leader, but he lived in Trinidad. Einstein Louison. So I came out of that sort of what should I say, a socialist background. Prior to that, it used to have, you remember the Black Power in the United States. Free Angela Davis. I saw a photo of you with a big afro. I had a big afro too. So young Chris may not be.
He's the young guy.
Now he's clean, you know.
Right,
but that is what brought me focus on politics per se, through the community.
But did that money give you influence? That's the question.
No, that didn't give me influence, because when I got into politics, I was a worker. When I joined, so when I voted, 1984. I voted for NBPM. I didn't vote for an MP. So the only parties I've been involved in was NBPM.
Right.
And then after NDP was formed under George Bizan, and then George Bizan got together with GDM, which was Francis Alexis Party and Keith Mitchell and Tilman Thomas, and GMP. But we were supposed, NDP was supposed to do on its own. Because we all went on, I mean, George was my friend. I mean, George and Callaghan have been, still remain my personal friends, even where they are. But I know the question you asked, so how does money influence politics and campaign?
Exactly.
It does.
It does.
It does. And I would have been a hindrance because I could sleep well that most of the money that I would have put in, and it could, a couple of $1 million, were hard-earned money, not to influence. The party never, NDC party never had people with large pockets. To fund them. So the other party.
Right. So I'm going to move forward with the question. You chair the committees. Report that you chair the committee that recruited the Prime Minister, Deacon Mitchell, to lead the NDC. That makes you a kingmaker. Are you satisfied with the leader you helped to put in office?
Yes. Yes. I'm satisfied with the, I call him a young man, but when I became a candidate, I was 32. I'm satisfied with the party per se. I'm satisfied with him leading the party. If I had to do it again, I would. Because we had a problem. NDC had a problem with leaders. And being part of a committee, being chair of the committee along with my good friend Glenn Noel, during the dark days, meaning that we had lost 2-15-0 back to back. There weren't anybody who can take the party to win. The whole thing was to win the elections. So we had Franca Bernardine. We tried Franca. We also had Claudette, and I call names because I'm for all parties now. I am actually Papa Joe, servant of all the people and all the parties. So supporting NDC, but from the back. I'm retired, even from the work. But I'm saying just for edification. You had, and we researched because Nazim Burke, good friend, he in the initial stage, 2013, he led the campaign. And he lost. Why we lost then? NDC lost then. Because of the splitting, what transpired with the party, with my good political son, Peter David, and the rest of them. We had to, it was wrong, it was not legal, we had to throw them out. And I was one of those who led it, right? Including my good friend Chester. So that put us in a 15-0. The other 15-0, it was very, very clear that it was difficult for Nazim Burke to have won. But he was party leader, he was elected, and I supported him, we supported him. Now, come to 15-0, and I was involved in the first 15-0, and that's another story. So what do? We had Joseph Andal. We had Claudette on the outside there, Claudette Joseph. We had my good friend Persuader, who actually was acting leader. But when you do the polls, you know, while you're doing it and you're looking, you have to be realistic. It just could not work.
So you led that initiative, but the question is, I want to come forward on it and saying, what is now working, you believe, in this administration? What are you satisfied with? What is positive? What is negative for you?
Let me say this.
Yes.
I am not an advisor. I do not have, if I've had 2 conversations with the Prime Minister since he became political leader, that's a lot. And it wasn't about politics. I do not engage the party. The party does not engage me because I've removed myself, but I support NDC because that's a party that I helped form with George Brezan. So the brand, I support the brand still. And I am pleased, despite there have been some challenges from a party sense of, I am not pleased with how the party is operating. I'm not pleased that there are sufficient people who have the understanding of the politics and how within the party. Some of them, a few of them is from the old guard, and the rest of them. So they're very immature where politics is concerned, and they need help there. But the whole idea was they won under a young person because people wanted to really see my good friend Keith Mitchell say bye-bye to Keith, my friend, he's like Ralph Gonzalez. You know, you've been there long enough.
Yeah.
I speak to Keith, I'll speak to Chester, I'll speak to Peter. I have no enemies. But for the sake of the country, I think the people wanted a change. With regards to the NDC. NDC now, there are a lot of programs. The government itself, I think, I am hoping for the hospital to really materialize. It is something that we looked at for many, many years in NDC, around that same area. I want to see the port here, transformation done, and I think that one term, I'll get another list, is not sufficient. But am I pleased with the performance of the party?
Yes.
The answer is no. Because if they don't get up and they don't do their work, there's another party with a nice, I looked at the presentation, a nice green, you know, with a nice clothing, young faces.
So
they are coming up.
So what is not working for you? Where you think that
Not working
where you
for
think
me.
the emphasis had to be?
Well-
But that might be. In fact, I asked the question and I want to move on because I'm looking at my time. I want to go to the question of the knighthood. You were recently awarded a knighthood. We call you, as Chris mentioned, so Joseph, and that's fine. But you feel you earned it? Or most of, because some critics says that honors can be political payback. How do you respond to this?
As I indicated before, I did not know, I think I could hear you personally, I did not know that I was going to be honored at that level.
Yeah.
Because I've indicated I've had received honors before, last year. I've been asked many years, it's on a political payback, I don't know. I was asked to be Governor General once, and I refused.
Okay.
At one time, I was asked to be the head NDC as a political leader. In 1999, I did not. As my wife indicated to me, if you go there and take a position, I'll divorce you. So I did not. I'm not interested. I am not interested in self-importance. All I'm interested is to be servant or political power. I am not. I never used it. By strength of personality, my leadership and managerial skills to lead in business is what I use. There are very few business people in politics, and I think there should be more. Lawyers, unfortunately, from my experience, are sometimes not the best people to lead a political organization. We have had so many lawyers in NDC. I can name about 6 or 7. The current Prime Minister is an attorney at law, but he is an attorney in which area? Not criminal law, you know. So he has an opportunity, personally, to get finance better than the other lawyers. He has that opportunity. I understand it, so my money finished. And I have no more, so it's a good thing that I'm out of it.
As you look back at it from the political investment, do you think the returns for you, because it's an investment?
No, I'm not interested in that in software investment. I'm not transactional. The investment is for people. The investment is to make sure the society that I live in and my grandchildren and my 8 great-grandchildren have a better place to live in.
But Joe, I know you've been interested and you've expressed an interest in geopolitics, and I see some of your posts and some of your writings. The Caribbean is increasingly caught between the U.S., China. We have the Venezuela issue, small states like Grenada, how we navigate powers. What's your sense of what's happening in the region right now? How does Grenada stand? Do you think we are responding adequately and sufficiently to what's taking place?
No. There's a few people who are not speaking to me, including some of my own relatives. Because some time ago in October or September, I came on a program with Calistria because I was called with regards to the radar.
Yeah.
And I'm a pragmatic person. Now, I indicated that I have been close to socialism based on my upbringing at that time.
Yeah.
But I have matured, and I am indicating that I have a different approach to what's happening in the Caribbean. And I knew what would have happened since then. When I indicated then that I supported Kamala Persaud's position on what she did with regards to Trinidad and Tobago, not how she said it. It doesn't mean that I personally don't like Trump. But the United States of America, regardless of what, is democracy is probably the worst of the best. And logistically, geography, where we lived, I cannot see me fighting. We did that already, and we failed. We failed. We destroyed our own self with that ideology. It cannot work here, and I don't think it could work anywhere. If you look at China, China has a different philosophy than the Russians. The Russians, it has failed. But coming back to the Caribbean, Cuba, I'm very much supportive of the Cuban people. I know quite a bit, going way back when the Cubans were here. Different kettle of fish than the Venezuelans. Different. It's like my father said, you know, I can take a bullet now. The people from, because my father came from Lebanon, and one of the first that came here, he said, people from Lebanon different from the people from Syria. he said one is class and the other one. you understand what I'm saying? So I see the Cuban are more educated, more patriotic, probably too nationalistic. And I could tell you this, because I know you will get there, so I'm taking in front, that I have told a certain person, a good friend of mine, I say at this stage, I have looked, I didn't bring my Palestine thing, but at this stage, there are some times that you have to put up your white flag. Because, you know, and I'm saying this to say this. When Maurice Bishop went to Cuba after he made his famous speech in the United States, you remember before he left, he had agreed on joint leadership, and he went and he passed. And I'm saying, I'm using the word allege. So I won't put myself in front of my own comrades, all right? Because I was responsible for bringing into NDC, Jeremy Joseph and I, the ultra-left comrades into NDC. I was responsible. My friend, I said, look, 1999, what are we going to do? I can't be a political leader. I'm not a career politician. But we have zero. Are we going to go back with Joan? But come here. It is not enough. Grenada should spearhead a flotilla, because Grenada benefited and blood was spilled of Cuban blood. Yeah. The Minister of Foreign Affairs should or the Prime Minister should mobilize all the islands and heads at CARICOM. Let us send food. Yeah. Let us send medicine.
Energy in particular. We have a lot of oil flowing out of Suriname, out of Guyana, who are members of CARICOM. Yeah. We need to find a way as a region to give them support from an energy perspective. Because that is a basic thing that will move them and the economy. People can't get to work in Cuba. They have to walk to work.
Well, I have people in Cuba who call me. I know them. I have family who on the ground said, I mean, the garbage is piling up in Matanza. Yeah. You know, it's children are suffering.
And I don't think as a region,
and I think
we have to make, at CARICOM coming up in St. Kitts very shortly. Yes. Whether a camera will attend is another issue. But at the same time, as I said, I think we have to come up with a position, not just on paper.
Well, I did say white flag, but I probably people would not like to hear it.
Right.
But I said
we have to come up with a position that can offer assistance.
Yes.
Because if the shooters are on the other foot, the Cubans will be the first looking to assist us.
Well, if the Cubans have done their bit for how much decades worldwide, and the Cuban people, this new generation, the Cubans have suffered, and the Cuban country, 3 decades ago, I think Fidel himself indicated, I mean quietly, that look, my people have suffered. You have done their best. He has made his mark. And there's no way that the Cuban people would change, because this is generation, would change their discipline to suit an ultra-capitalist situation. That won't happen. But at the same time, facts, reality is there. Your people are suffering. It's like the Palestinians. The facts are there. You're there and we are not there, but the thousands of people are being killed, and the Arab world was watching at it. So they're complicit too.
Yeah,
and you say so It is life.
We will be complicit if Cuba
If-
becomes a failed state.
Exactly. We will be complicit.
And the people, this action in the U.S. is actually, it's the people that are suffering, not the politicians, the people, the ordinary people.
Not the politicians.
No, the
not,
ordinary
not,
people.
not the politicians, even in the
It's
the elite politicians in
the
Cuba.
people, they can't get help. But let me have the final political question for you. Are you proud of the political culture you helped financed?
Come back to that question. I am proud that I'm associated with a party that was formed on the 20th of October 1987 as a young person that pulled itself and it's still standing there as a political force. We have not been fortunate to be in government for more than, I think, is one term. Under Tillman, one term. George was my friend, 6 months, you know? And now that we're in office, I'm hoping that the party, because I support the party per se, for the people who supported the NDC for years, for decades, a lot of them have gone. And a lot of those people have suffered, especially the older people who waited over these years. And we have politically, we have by default lost to NNP. NNP, as I said, they have a larger base. They have always had a larger base than the NDC.
Yeah.
They have had more money from business people. In NDC, we had to, as I say, Claudia Joseph still selling stuff by the road.
Yeah.
I mean, every in the month. But then this year I think should get another chance. Who hate me? That's right. I'm saying as it is. My relationship with the party per se, I'm hands off. I love Grenada. I want to see everybody at this stage, all Grenadians benefit. I also want to see the people of Cuba helped.
Right.
And I think Grenada and the present admin has a chance to help. With regards to the statement I made, with regards to Kamala, with regards to Suriname, with regards to Canada, I want to ask you a question. If Kamala had said no to the radar, and both of you, well, what would have happened to Carnival in Trinidad? Trinidad had the best carnival for years. You know why? If you stop those passports from coming, a party should look after their people first.
Yes.
When you look after your people and you look after your country, the pressure from the big bully will not affect you.
But Joe, we run out of time, and I think this is important. Sports. You have made a lot of contribution to sports, and you've been involved in it. I think not just weightlifting, but
bodybuilding.
Bodybuilding,
Yeah.
Tell us about this briefly.
Well, I've been president of the Bodybuilding Association for decades. Similarly, I've been involved as president of the table tennis. So these are two sports that I also played, participated as an athlete. So I love sports. I love competition. So I would have been in 1977-78. I competed in Mr. Grenada and a couple other contests myself.
Okay.
From 1969, I was involved in both the bodybuilding and the table tennis. I have played
Haman and those guys.
Yes, I played table tennis up to 4 years ago. I was 70. I played and I did well. I did very well with most of the young fellas. In 2019, 2020, COVID, I am the COVID champion in old age.
Yeah.
Now, I could hardly walk. All right? But I spent a lot of money on table tennis, on bodybuilding. And bodybuilding, in 2009, had the largest championship in Grenada, 34 countries, 260 athletes from the Central American. Now, all of that I've done quietly. I've sponsored basketball. I've been responsible for the court in River Road. I helped build the court
talk about the gym. You have an excellent gym.
Yeah.
Well, the gym part
that
of it,
will have flowed out of your bodybuilding days.
yes, and my son is now in charge.
It's presently ongoing.
And I say,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's part of the Excel Plaza anniversary.
So
yeah.
Excel Plaza came out of the gym, the cinema, or I planned Excel Plaza. Part of it is because of what I love. And it's 25 years since the plaza has been built. So this is 25 years anniversary.
Yeah.
It is over 50 years I've been involved in business
Right.
and politics.
And you have the only cinema on the island, active cinema, by the way.
Well, there are three things, and maybe it's a good thing. We have no competition, but competition is good. I like freedom of democracy,
Yeah.
free enterprise,
Yeah.
you know, and this is what we are celebrating this year, 25 years.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
I've retired. My son, Shane Joseph, runs the operation. I'm home actually sending texts to everybody. Some people, with all kind of information, whether it's sport, whether it's politics, some idle at home, basically. And I just send it all. Some people might be annoyed, some people, but I'm sending information. I'm home, and that's I'm like Trump.
Well, you notice I moved to the economics and the business, but I like to come back to the politics. What kind of outcome you see in our next political round? The fact now we have three parties going forward. What kind of outcome you think? I mean, what are you predicting? I mean, not your preference, but what do you?
Before we go to that, let me say this. You spoke about money.
Go ahead.
Years ago, and this is where I remember Francis Alexis.
Yeah.
Francis Alexis, Kenny Lal Singh, Finzi St. Louis, George Bezan, Michael Andrews. I'm talking about the founders of NDC.
Yes.
Joan Purcell.
Yeah.
But I'm saying some of them are still alive. They're not in NDC anymore. The only person in NDC now would be Joan Purcell, Dame Joan Purcell, and basically myself. Finzi St. Louis, my dear friend, 92, he's still alive. And these are the people that I relate to. And I'm saying that the young people within NEC should relate to the elders, not only of the party, but of society.
You're not seeing that.
Elder stateswomen and men.
And you see, this is a problem. Because what is going to happen, you can be over-focusing on the young people and their votes, but let me tell you something. Older and elder people are looking. They want to be involved. Don't make it look like they're retired and tired and irrelevant, and that could be a problem.
You seeing this?
I feeling it. You know,
I'm feeling it. This is a different.
I'm feeling it.
It's an important
personally,
point.
I think, and I'm saying this, that you have to be very careful. They have to be very careful. Yes, the young people. Yes, the vote. Yes, you pass laws for marijuana, whatever it is, for young people. You know, you want to change the age of consent, you know, you're talking about for young people. So, yes, they're the future. But you have a young generation that has to be trained, has to be educated to be able to be responsible to carry that.
And we will probably say...
Okay, hold on. Someone, I just got a message. A viewer is saying that they did attend to their elder because they gave the pension to the elders, so they did focus on it. Someone
that's okay.
is
Yes, they did that.
Yeah.
We're talking about not in monetary terms.
I understand that.
In not monetary terms. It has to be, you know...
Recognition, involvement.
Well, not only recognition, just you could create a generation gap.
Yes.
Because you have to, you must, look, there has to be something. Because I, as a young person, had no problem sitting at the feet of Sir Nicholas Buffett, of George Bezan, of H.A. Blaze, you know, not keen to learn, because we have something to
the benefit of the experience.
Yes, and you have to.
Which is, experience is not that you know what you want to do, but what you don't want to do.
Exactly.
And help lead in that particular direction.
And then the society will be better off.
Yeah, well,
you know,
the right mix and the ideal mix is to balance that.
It's to balance that. And
intergenerational.
Intergeneration.
Yeah.
And everything is balanced because we come into politics. Right wing, left wing, the pendulum swings. And you realize that. If your pendulum swings like Grenada, in a total communist as we went to almost,
Yeah.
because it swung back to the right wing. And that's how world politics is. If you go too far, then the other side will come, and if you don't find a medium, if you don't find a balance, you will always have wars, and you will always have ideological problems and challenges. So in life, maturity, balance, everything. With politics, with religion, same thing. The Muslims saying one
Exactly.
thing, Christians saying
I
the
want
other
to go
thing.
back to my earlier question, though. Yeah.
Campaign financing.
No, the question has to be is where. Okay, I can ask this question.
Yes, yes.
You don't have to answer it. Would you see yourself continuing political financing going forward?
No.
No, he said he was okay.
No, I was of that since, I was
I
of
wanna
that
hear him
since
again.
2021.
2021.
Yes.
So where do you see the politics going in
Well,
terms of
let's stay with political finance. That's great.
Yeah.
Francis Alexis. Hi.
Yeah.
You see, there are three things that the Constitution should change.
Yeah.
One is campaign financing.
Okay.
The other one, we have to become a republic.
Yeah.
And the other one, term limits.
Critical.
I remember when
Yeah.
an MP,
Yeah.
and Pete Mitchell,
Yeah.
proposed 7 or something.
Yeah.
Francis Alexis led it. And because of lack of understanding and maturity, even from NDC, we went there. People who represented us, and I said, Lord, we didn't get one. Because as it was said, when your plate has too much food, forget it. You just have to have your little carbohydrates,
Yeah.
your little proteins, and a little vegetable.
Right.
So that there's 3. You want to put a cook up.
Yeah.
So you end up with 14, and you had a vote.
Exactly.
And what happened?
So those 3 points are
Those
crucial.
3 points
are
are
crucial,
necessary.
And
Necessary.
they are noted. But again, going back to as an activist, as someone involved in politics most of your life, what kind of outcome you anticipate in this election period coming up?
Well,
How do you see it forming, and what kind of outcome?
I am known, as I said, Papa Joe, chief servant of all the people and all the parties. And I want to retain that seriously, because politics divides people. Religion divides people. And I have been, in my own family, my mother was a Garyite, and because of I being supportive of the jewel, we ran into problems. I didn't speak to her for many years, right? At present, I even have a problem because I've seen and I'm thinking differently with regards to what's happening in geopolitics and in the Caribbean. For instance, I've indicated, and you would go against it, although you and I are in the same generation, that I understood the Monroe Doctrine as to how it should be applied then and why it was put in, and I think it should be. Not the Trump or the Monroe Doctrine.
Trump understanding of the Monroe Doctrine.
Yes,
is
that is
quite different.
it's
to
quite
what
different to the Monroe Doctrine.
Monroe proposed.
Yeah, totally. And because I still want to go to geopolitics.
You go.
You have the American system is in decline. America is in decline. So Trump is a businessman. Trump is a wheeler and dealer. America has 800 bases all over the world. It comes to money. How are you going to continue to finance that? Find out how much China has. The America has exhausted their money, their ideology outside there to outfires. Now, okay, they sell arms and so on. But what happens? We here in the Western Hemisphere, if you were looked after, whether it was from Venezuela up and the Caribbean, and we were looked after with the same amount of half the money that's being spent out there. Let China look after Africa.
I know we have very little time.
Yeah, we have little time.
What I'm saying is
Yes.
if the money comes in, all of us will benefit.
The political question locally. Do you think DPM?
Who is that?
DPM.
Who's DPM?
Your good friend Peter David.
I'm a son.
Do you feel he can have an influence on the NNP and NDC vote and become a power broker? As we had
I'm
many
being
years
frank,
ago.
Peter, forgive me as usual. Pedro, I brought you into NDC, but Maduro lock up. All the money, most of the money gone. I mean, I'm being frank. Yes, he could have, he may have, but
You ever see possibility in the next cycle?
him. I think.
But he can win
I think Pedro has
His
made.
tongue seat and
I
another
think.
seat?
I think the Pedro has made. I mean, everybody like him. He's a very, pleasing person to speak to. But he had political in. As the person who had brought in Peter and Naz, John Joseph and I, Peter was the person that we spoke to of being the political leader of NDC, not Tillman Thomas. Huh? We spoke to him. Peter ran in the tongue. I anointed him in the tongue. I ran in the tongue. But take over from General Secretary from me. Okay. Peter told me, well, I really want to be a candidate. I want to be Minister of Foreign Affairs and to travel. I'm telling you as it is.
So you believe his political mileage is not much anymore for the next cycle?
Well, politics is a funny game. I mean, Peter is what, close to 60? Or 60, no, close to 70 actually. And I don't know. It's not impossible. I see prime ministers in Africa is 92.
Yeah, I saw that. When they walk.
I mean, Donald Trump is 79.
80 plus when he
80
leaves
plus.
office. If he leaves office.
The former Prime Minister, Keith Mitchell, healthier than me. Even though I introduced him to the gym, and because of me, I think he's fitter than me. But
He has a discipline to maintain.
he has a discipline. Yes. I remember when I encouraged him to join the gym. But anyhow, with regards to Peter, I think I don't have much more to say.
Okay, so I conclude from that you believe his chances are not as great, because he's announcing his candidates, I think, soon for all the constituencies. So we'll see what that brings to the fore as the politics get closer and closer.
Am I being biased?
No, I think
Okay.
you're being open, I hope.
Open?
And that's that is
Two-party?
how you see it.
Yes.
You've been around a long time and have
Yes,
contributed
that's
a
how I
lot.
see it.
So I want to end by congratulating you, first of all, on your award and your contribution to the Grenadian society in all aspects, philanthropically, business-wise, and in the sporting arena where you have been associated. And I think, your award is well-deserved, your knighthood, and the various others that you have, of course, accomplished. So I think,
Should I give it back?
No, I think you should keep it, and you should let our populace know that this is how we must contribute to our society in order to be awarded.
I don't think it was political. I hope not.
Well, I hope not. But at the same time,
I cannot be bought.
I believe your contribution speaks for itself.
Okay.
So that in itself, to me, is, and it's good that I didn't give you after you have passed and you are alive to receive it. That is an important thing. So thank you.
Yeah.
Very
One
much.
closing question. You've been a businessman, a political financier, a sports patron, and now a knight of Ram, certainly.
Send up 5 Carnival Queens.
History will judge you. History will judge your influence not only by the honors or the wealth, but by what Grenada becomes, because you've invested there. What is the Grenada you hope to leave behind?
A very safe country, respected and by people, a beacon of hope to the other OECS countries, well-educated society with good health, good hospital, which NDC we have worked for years. Remember Ann Peters, all of us, we do one of the best hospital you can get in the Caribbean. Our best education, almost as how Barbados used to be, So that's a Grenada, a safe place. I would like to see, I ran for the Tongue of St. George. I would like to see, if I'd won, that the whole of the Tongue of St. George be a beacon. It is one of the most beautiful carnage, most beautiful harbor. I would like to see how it looks like in St. Martin and the other places. I don't want to say, not a ghetto. I want it to be enhanced properly. And that is what I'd like to see. I'd like to see the market square, the market enhanced just for tourism. I'd like to see the market transferred somewhere else, And that what is happening and has happened even all the time in the town, removed. So that when a tourist ship comes in here, they come in one of the most beautiful, which is already is, harbor, and tourism we depend on. I want to see agriculture continued, because I sat on the board, Nutmeg Association. I'm one of those that assisted in making sure the nutmeg was moved to be sold, because at that time they were packed up there and stored. So agriculture, tourism, health, and education, those are the four.
Thank you very much, Papa Joe, Sir Joseph, for
Papa
being
Joe.
with us tonight. Papa Joe. Viewers, that's all the time we have. We're really out of time. We'll see you next week, same time, same place. Have a good evening. Thank you. Bye-bye.